Welcome to Mondays with Mel at a new time. We are now at 7 to 7:30 on Monday nights, live in public education group, Zen with Oils. So today is the final Mondays with Mel back to school series. So we've been talking about everything from supplementation to immune system and how essential oils can help strengthen and boost your immune system and your immune response in your body, and many other topics. And so tonight we're going to wrap up with sleep and what are the important factors to contribute to a quality good night's sleep. We all know that when we don't function very well when we don't have enough sleep, right? And that is something that's so important for kids at the youngest ages as well. So according to the Sleep Foundation, how much sleep is recommended for every single age? So I'm going to talk about school age kids. So from about 5 years old to teenagers, 5-year-olds need between 10 to 13 hours of sleep a night. 6 to 13-year-olds need 9 to 11 hours of sleep per night. Teens, 8 to 10. Young adults, 18-year-olds or so, need 7 to 9. Now, as adults, it's important for us to also get quality sleep. That most adults need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night to feel rested and rejuvenated for the following day. So how do you know if you've had enough sleep? You feel good the next day. You don't have, a really tired afternoon. You don't, your immune system's strong, you're quick, your cognitive function is well, you're not having a lot of brain fog, things like that. And another piece that's so important for sleep is what happens with our hormones, especially for women as we sleep. So it even contributes to obesity. I mean, there's so many factors that sleep impacts, and it's just so important that we get our really good sleep every single night. So some tips on how to get back on a good sleep schedule, making sure that everyone's getting ample sleep every single night, even when we have long days, whether school is at home or school is back in their normal routine in a school building. It's sometimes tough at the end of a day. It's 5 o'clock, everyone's home from work, and then it's dinner, it's homework, it's do all the things before a decent bedtime before you get up and do it all again, right? And because there's so much to do in the evenings, many times what gets pushed later is that bedtime for school kids. And when I was in the classroom, I actually saw kids, when my early childhood days, when I taught early childhood, I saw kids fall asleep in my room that just obviously weren't getting enough sleep at night. They were up way too late. They were getting up way early. And it's hard to see because, of course, they missed instruction. They were exhausted. They weren't remembering things. And it really impacts our children when they're not getting enough sleep. So what can we do to create a good routine in the evenings? First thing, of course, is turn off that technology. It's so important, especially for kids. They don't really need to see screens. And even as adults, I notice I don't fall asleep very well if I'm stuck on my phone or stuck on my computer late into the evenings. And so I turn off my phone, I turn off my computer as early as possible in the evenings, just because it's not healthy for us, right? Then that's the first thing. Second, create a routine for bed. So what it looks like in our family, bath, they go straight to reading books in their room. I apply oils, get the diffuser going. And so we smell lavender, we smell serenity, we smell Adaptiv, just alternating. And, sometimes if they're really not, they're restless and they're not wanting to fall asleep, I'll put, vetiver on their big toe, cedarwood on their big toe, serenity on their toes, etc. And it just kind of depends on the day, but they always know that that's the routine. It's bath, calm, relax, put on jammies, put on some oils, diffuse oils, and then it's that go to sleep. You're doing multiple things when you incorporate your essential oils into that nighttime routine. You're setting a trigger. So when they smell an aroma, that means it's time for bed. So that is really nice, especially for littles, because both of my kids have been using oils since infancy. Right when Austin was born, he was using oils, and same with Avery. So they have experience and they know when they smell certain aromas that it triggers a certain response. So they know that those calming oils, the lavender, it's nap, it's bedtime, it's nighttime. So creating that routine. Now, which oils are most beneficial? Let's talk about that a little bit. Let me make sure we are live. Yes, we are. Good. So the oils to help, I already mentioned Serenity, Adaptiv, and Lavender. But Calmer is another blend that's part of the kids line that's really, really good for calming your kids, creating that relaxing environment. This is one that I use on my kiddos, and they're both almost out of this Calmer. This is an extra one. So in this Calmer blend, you have your lavender, Cananga, Buddha wood, and Roman chamomile. So it's very calm, it's very gentle. None of those oils are harsh or too powerful. And of course, it already has your coconut oil. So it's ready to apply. You put it on their feet, on their spine, put it in their hands, have them smell it. It smells really good. A lot of times when my daughter was getting her 2-year molars, I would even use this oil just on her jawbone. And in the lavender and Roman chamomile were really good for calming as she was, getting those teeth coming in. Then of course, I mean, you guys have heard me talk about lavender a lot, just how it's a natural sedative. It's very calming, very relaxing. The constituents in the breakdown of the lavender essential oil do that. They calm you. It's science. They actually make your cells just calm and relax. And it's pretty cool to see. Balance does the same thing. And I have a really cool video showing balance underneath the cells in a microscope. So it's really cool to see that science firsthand. But lavender is just calming, This you can even take internally as an adult or even a teenager. You get to add that internally into a routine in the evening just to help calm and relax you too. Serenity is a blend that has lavender in it. Included in this blend is hoe wood, ylang ylang, marjoram, lavender, cedarwood, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla, and Hawaiian sandalwood. So you can imagine it's woodsy, it's floral, it's great for that relaxation. Put it on the bottoms of your feet and really take deep breaths, inhale, etc. Part of my routine, I love putting drops in my hand, rubbing my hands together, and just taking those deep breaths. I like putting drops directly on my pillow, on the bed. I usually do a handful of drops, and then we also diffuse overnight. Many times we diffuse breathe overnight just to help with opening airways. So those would be the top oils that I would use to incorporate into that routine, whether you're diffusing or putting them topically on your children. That is really going to help calm and relax. Now, another one that I didn't mention is my Adaptiv, and that is a really good one as well, just for the calming and the relaxation and the stress or overwhelm, anxious feelings, etc. And that Adaptiv is really, really good to diffuse too. So I want to dive into 2 different supplements. First are the Adaptiv supplements. Now, the Adaptiv supplements is interesting because let me read off what's in there first. So you have your Adaptiv blend, which is lavender, coriander, wild orange, and fennel, ahi flower, gamma aminobutyric acid, and Scallidium tortuosum, and that's certain parts, aerial parts extract. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that last one, the Scallidium tortuosum. It is one of the primary compounds that's in this. It is a part of a category of nootropics, which is a new category of dietary supplements. Now, what are these? They support cognitive function, and they're a safe alternative for that brain support. So it's actually a succulent that's native to South Africa. Indigenous cultures have dried and chewed extracts from this plant for centuries and consumed it within their tea. So kanna is what this plant is from. It's used for many spiritual purposes. Hunters would chew it to combat fatigue, relieve thirst and hunger, and mentally prepare for stressful situations. So it would potentially modulate moods, which is really powerful. And in the late 19th century, chemists really studied it and isolated it to be this specific constituent called mesobrine. And that is really something that's known throughout the world, but this extract has gained a lot of popularity. And so this is what is in here as well. So why does it work? That's one of the pieces, is it provides that mood support to support any sort of stress or overwhelm. Now, in the evenings, if I'm having trouble turning off or calming my mind, Adaptiv. I like to take Adaptiv, and I also like taking Serenity Complex, the capsule. I don't have the bottle. What I do with the bottles is I actually sample out and give samples to people that haven't tried oils before. And so a lot of times I don't have my bottles if I don't have my empties. I use this pill case, which is awesome. And I put all of my oils in there. So Serenity, this is what it looks like. Kind of a purpley gray looking capsule. But Serenity capsules, now what are they? Let's dive in a little more about Serenity capsules. So they are, let me break down exactly what's in it first of all. They have lavender, L-theanine, lemon balm, passion flower, and chamomile in them. And all of them based on clinical trials that were done like this last few years. These have been out for a few years, but clinical trials, and of course more studies have been done. But there were I'll give a synopsis of the clinical trials. So 62 adults with self-reporting of occasional trouble sleeping. They were divided into randomized studies, a placebo, double-blind, etc. And there was 1 whole week which no products were used, and then 2-week intervention where they used the products or the placebo, and then 1 more week with nothing, and then a 2-week intervention that had the opposite product. So during the intervention periods, they had 2 soft gels every night, 30 minutes before going to bed, and they were both blinded, so they didn't know what they were getting, a placebo or the real one. And then they validated with some different sleep assessment tools prior to the study and then at the end of the whole study as well. And they tracked diet, exercise, caffeine intake, how long they slept, etc. And 51 out of the 62 completely finished the study. So the results were that there were statistically improvements in falling asleep, balance and coordination when they woke, ease of waking up, alertness when waking up, compared to the placebo or the washout periods where they didn't have anything at all. And then everything from your sleep diaries with the exception of waking duration, they were better scored when they took the product than when they took the placebo. So all in all, even though this is a short-term example, all in all, taking Serenity helped quality of sleep, helped alertness when waking up, and people felt a lot more rested. I can attest to that personally myself. There are nights when, and I don't take them every night because typically sleep is not an issue, but when I have a lot of stress or a lot of thoughts going on in my mind or a lot of things in my to-do list, I will take an Adaptiv and a Serenity at night. And I can attest to, validate what the clinical trials have found is that I wake up rested, I feel much better, and I know that my sleep has been high quality and really good sleep. So that is those are the 2 supplements that I would highly recommend for, anyone that can swallow pills. You can start with 1 capsule of each, and an adult sized person, which many teenagers are adult sized, they could take the full dosing of each one of those to really help fall asleep and go to bed and wake up feeling rested and ready to start the next day. So that is it for our final back to school series. And so next week will be Labor Day, and I will not be live on my Mondays with Mel because it is a holiday. And then the following week, I will be doing an update on convention products because our convention is next week. And so we will be releasing new products and new oils and new other products. And so I will be diving in a little bit on each of those in September, tell you what they are, and go from there. So, and then we'll talk into a fall wellness and how to stay healthy this fall. So thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can always watch these on YouTube. You can always watch these on my Zen with Oils Public Education with Melissa Gaskin Facebook page as well. And have a wonderful Monday night. See you in 2 weeks. Oh, one last thing. Wellness Wednesday starts back up this Wednesday with Liza Lomax, who is a body image coach. So that is every Wednesday at noon Mountain Time here within this group. You won't want to miss it. They're all interviews, and there are several different professionals in the health and wellness sector that bring knowledge and tips and their expertise to our group. And so be sure to watch it, mark your calendar, set an alarm, and we will see you at Wellness Wednesday. So have a good night. Bye, everyone.